In this video, I'm going to be talking about dating today, how it's been for me and just thinking out loud about it. Let's get started. What's up, dorks and dorkettes? Welcome back to another Word Vomit Wednesday. I hope you're all having a really good week. You're feeling ready for the rest of it. What I want to talk about today is dating today. That sounded really good, yeah. So basically, what I want to talk about is the way that dating is, at least from my perception, in different issues and things that I've had with it and different things that I've noticed that work well. So, oh man, this one's gonna be really hard because there's so much to this. So if this one does well, I might do another one on it because this is something I could talk about for hours because there's so many layers. I can only talk from the guy's perspective, but I'm going to interject on occasion probably the female perspective, or at least how it looks to me and how I perceive it. Doesn't mean I'm right on any of these, and it doesn't mean that I'm speaking for all guys. I'm just talking for me, how it's been. So dating has been a weird thing because I was an ugly human being until I want to say senior year of high school. I started turning around. I was not a cute human. I was not. I could not buy a date, and I don't mean that in a gross way. Don't think it like that. I was so tremendously bad with girls. I didn't know how to talk to them. I didn't look good. My personality was pretty one-dimensional. I wasn't a multifaceted person. I didn't really bring anything to the table that a girl would want, and that's okay. I'm not saying that no girl wanted me. No, for good reason. No girl wanted me. There's a reason that a lot of girls did not want me, and on the off chance that a couple did, they just weren't my kind of girl, and that's okay. I wasn't really into people that I wasn't into, and that's fine. It's not something against them. It's not something against me that other people didn't want me. It is what it is. So it's been interesting to have gone from that to going to college and hitting, I guess, my glow up, if we want to call it that, during that time period, and moving from being gross to not being gross, and also developing a personality. That was super interesting for me because I feel like I learned a lot about myself through all that, and it's gotten to the point where I'm not really scared to talk to girls anymore. I used to be terrified, but now I'm just not, because I've been rejected I'm not kidding when I say hundreds of times. I'm not exaggerating. You can ask anyone at my high school. I'm notoriously bad with girls. That is one of the things that I've always been just a dumpster fire at, is talking to girls. I would think that different things were I don't want to say I try to compliment people, but they'd be creepy. I'd be thinking, what's popular now? And when everyone's like, ooh, Michelle Obama's arms, I'd be like, you have really nice arms. And girls would be like, God, what is stop, you're making me uncomfortable. Once or twice someone said that to me, and I'm like, that's not how you should be at all. You should never make someone uncomfortable. But I learned how not to do it, because I wasn't necessarily creepy. I was the kind of person where I was such a white knight, where I was thinking if I just tip my fedora and milady enough, then they're gonna just swoon and jump into my arms, which that's not how it goes. If you're trying to be apotheosis of a nice guy, it's not gonna work. And that's the thing. Does not mean, hear me, does not mean treat a girl bad. Not what I mean at all. But do not cater to someone's every whim, no matter what gender they are. Because if you do that, think about it this way. Psychologically speaking, people like things they can't have. They do. Tell me a time when you were chasing someone or someone was chasing you, and then you finally got them. What did you feel like? Just like if you've been saving up to buy something, and then you finally buy it, it doesn't feel as good having it. The process and the chase and everything is what people enjoy, what people prefer. They want to have something as a build-up, where they build it up in their minds of something that it's not, and then you get there and you have this sort of delusion or facade. And also, I feel like the way that people have progressed is by pushing, trying to be better, trying to do more, trying to expand on their just life. They want more, they want better, and then when they get it, they think, what's next? And people are no different. Back when everyone was I don't want to say Neanderthals, but when there weren't that many people nearby in different places, this girl was taking her trash out. We just made awkward eye contact. That was really fun. See, obviously I'm swooning. No, she's gone. Don't worry. I'm not freaking her out. But what I'm saying is, if you're talking to someone way back then, you might not hit a human being for a couple miles. So you were much less picky than you are now. Today, it's like a meat market of humans. We have densely populated cities with beautiful human beings of every kind, and all of them, you have your own traits that are fantastic, right? You have your own traits that are great. You might be funny, you might be smart, you might be charismatic, you might be athletic, you might be anything. But, no one on this earth is the best at anything like that, except for one person, and I promise it's not you. Prove me wrong, it's not me either. So what I'm saying is this. I think it's become markedly harder for people to, I'll call it, retain mates and keep interest, because around every corner, they might not have all the traits and characteristics you have. So let's say you're smart, funny, kind, and attractive. This next person around the corner, he might be more attractive and more funny, but not as smart and not as kind. You've lost two of the things that drew someone to you that you might be dating, to that person. Now, obviously they can only really see the looks part. They don't know the personality yet. But as others interact with others, I think a big reason why people kind of like serial date is because the grass really can be greener. And I apologize for the airplane overhead. I live right by an airport. Nice. So basically, what ends up happening is, as you're talking to people, you meet new people, and you meet people with things that your significant other doesn't have, or things that they don't have that your significant other God, I'll try that again. Things that they don't have that your significant other does have. And what ends up happening is, as you're looking at these things, you're noticing, like, oh, wow, like, I really love that my boyfriend / girlfriend / significant other does this thing. That's fantastic. I really appreciate that more because no one else seems to have it. So that can be something that works to your advantage. Or you can have the other way where they think, God, everyone, like, I really like funny guys, and like, the person I'm dating, he's just not funny. And then that might not make them leave you, but that might kind of plant something in their head of like, is this really who I want to be with? And it puts doubt. There's so much room for doubt casting today, I feel like. It's like everywhere you go, the grass is greener. Even in my apartment complex, guaranteed there's someone smarter than me, guaranteed. Someone funnier than me, guaranteed. Someone cuter than me, guaranteed. All three of those things. If I had a significant other and we just bounced around from the apartments and talked to people, guaranteed that they'd notice that as well. And I'd notice that as well. And probably same thing if I had God, dude, why can't I talk? If I had a significant other, which I don't, if you were talking to other people, I would also notice things of like, wow, she's really good at this. Not a lot of people can do this. And then, wow, she really doesn't have this trait that I actually really like, I've noticed in other people. That's something that I think is really, I just don't see how any human can compete with the way that society's structured, if that makes sense. Like, and I don't mean this in a derogatory sense, but no one will ever be good enough in the way we've set it up. And it shows. Guys are super conceited, girls are super conceited, and you can tell. Everyone is thinking they're so much more than they are, but they're not. Myself included. I'm not just ragging on everyone. It's like, maybe I don't deserve a princess. Maybe you don't deserve a prince. Like, maybe you're cool, but you're not that great. Like, you know what I mean? And we have everyone telling us like, oh, you're the best. You're so good, Billy. Woo. And then also people who are like, dude, I hate you, man. You suck. You're ugly. You're stupid. You're fat. And it goes both ways. And I feel like it's just, back when people lived in small rural areas, right? Those couples are still together. They are, like, statistically. And the people that are in a more urban environment, I feel like as we've moved that way, like, there's more divorce, there's less marriages. Like, marriage just hardly appeals to me now. It really does. I don't know if I'd ever want to get married, aside from just, like, not on paper. I'd never want to get legally married, ever. Because what's hers is hers, and what's mine is mine. I'll give her money, or I'll buy her things, but I never, if we decide to go our separate ways, I don't want to be able to take anything of hers and hers of mine. That's just not how it goes. And I don't like that. I don't. You should be supplementary, you should be complementary, not supplementary. I should not be relying on her, and she should not be relying on me. We should make each other better together, but be completely fine apart. That's how I view it, at least. And I just don't see that with people. I see everyone looking for their missing piece, their missing half. Something isn't here, and if I had this person, I could be better. I could be what I should be. No, that's just so not correct. You're your own person, great traits and flaws and all. And no other human being on this earth will change that. I don't care. They could help you develop into a better person. Dude, oh my God, there's so many things around my house that squeak. Like my dryer sounds like a screaming animal. It's so brutal. They haven't come out in like a week. The dude thought he fixed it, but he didn't. So if you hear that, that's my washer actually. That still screams, but it's not nearly as bad. So I don't know if any of these pick up on audio, but I feel the need to explain them instead of like, is there a small animal just getting strangled? But it's just, dude, God, I don't know. It's really hard for me to just sit there and think, I don't want to say it's discouraging, but I'm just like, I have a lot of good traits, but I have a lot of bad traits. And I'm just thinking, same with everyone, obviously. But I just keep thinking to myself, people deserve someone who's a really good fit for them. And to me, if it's not like an instantaneous, like there's something there, which I've really only felt like twice, it's one of them, actually, I lied. One of them developed and one of them was just immediate. And it also does not determine longevity of the relationship. I will tell you that, believe me. And it is what it is. You have to figure out for yourself what you value in others, what you bring to the table. That's the thing. People keep asking, what can this person do for me? Is this girl badder? Is this girl cuter? Is this girl, more intelligent? Is she funnier? Does she make a lot of money? And it's like, that doesn't really, like, what do you bring, dude? You're here asking what she can bring. What can you bring? And ladies, it's the same way. Do not act like, oh yeah, spilled it. No. It's you too. It's everyone. Every human being does this, where they think, what can you do for me? Which isn't necessarily bad, but don't negate what can you do for them. You're a part in this relationship if you pursue one. You need to bring something. If you're not bringing something, you're detracting. You don't want to be a leech. If you're a leech, you're gross and you suck. I don't care who you are. And I've seen leeches who are attractive people who just, that's all they offer to the relationship. They're the pretty face, guys and girls. And I'm just like, God, you're just the worst to be around. And they're around, a total sweetheart of a guy or girl. And I'm just like, dude, go somewhere else. You're so much better than them. Yeah, you're not as pretty as them, but that's literally all they're doing. They crutch on that. And give them 20 or 30 years, they're going to be gross. Unless they make a bunch of money or you make a bunch of money and finance them to not be gross anymore, nature takes its toll. We're all going to be gross and wrinkly and nasty when we're like 70, maybe even 60. Who knows? Like, it's just, I don't know. The older I've gotten, like, I care about looks. I won't act like I don't. But I just feel like after being rejected by so many people, and I mean literally hundreds, like I'm not exaggerating that number, hundreds, and just being cringy and being creepy without knowing it and just being weird and just like, I don't like that. And then trying different tactics, being nice to girls, seeing it not work, being mean to girls, seeing it not work, being kind of in between. Like, I'm not proud of how I've talked to girls in the past. I'm not. And that's a big thing with me. You get bold when you're on Tinder or Bumble, and it's just like, who do you think you are? Like, you're a person, that's another human being. That's someone's son or daughter. Have some class, have some respect. I get it, they're their own person, they're not just a son or a daughter. Like, I get it. But think about it. It's just like, that person was a kid once. And I'll probably link Everyone's a Little Kid, Word Vomit Wednesday in a card. But I don't know, man. I feel like this is something I care so much about because so many people just are so unhappy by themselves. And I feel like they think they have to be dating, but you don't. You don't. I've dated once, and I learned so much from it, like in a relationship type deal. It didn't work out, and that's fine. That's okay. Like, I'm not out here hating her. Like, I'm not gonna like expose her or anything. Like, she did some stuff that was not good, and that's okay. I'm not perfect either. Like, I don't know. I just feel like everyone has things they can do better, right? Everyone has things that they do well. And I just think if you're gonna find your person, they're not going to be perfect. That's what you need to realize. They're not gonna be perfect. However, it shouldn't feel like you're giving more or they're giving more, because that never works. If one party's giving more than the other party, you have nothing. You have nothing. It's not going to work because everyone needs to be contributing on an equal plane. If one person's over contributing, the other person might slack off or might feel they need to rise to it. And then you're constantly changing and like chasing after it, and it might wear you out. You want it to be something where it benefits you, does not necessarily, it needs to be more benefit. There needs to be more pros than cons. if there's more cons than pros, you both should leave. You both should leave. I'm just going to be honest. It's one of those things where there's going to be times where it hits that point because things are going rough, but it should never be something like that for a prolonged period of time because there's an issue. It's you, it's them, or it's both. I don't know how else to say that. And that's from someone who, you know, has broken up with someone, and even though it was my decision, I did things wrong too. She did things wrong too. It doesn't mean I'm infallible and I didn't do something. And I think that's the problem is I hate when people talk about their exes. They're like, dude, he/she, oh my God, can I talk? He/she totally sucks and blah, blah. And they just trash him. And I'm thinking, you dated this person for 3 years. And like 2 months ago, you were just like, oh, you're my little pumpkin pie. And it's like, you're like, what? No, this person meant a lot to you. It didn't work out. No matter really what they did, like pretty much get over it to a degree. You can't just sit there and trash someone. And that's from someone who I'm sure I've trashed my ex before, and it is what it is. And she's a person. I'm a person. We both messed up. It is what it is. I don't know, man. It bothers me a lot. And I just think to myself, the more relationships I see, the more turned off I get by them. And I'm a virgin, like if you can imagine that. Wow, what a surprise. If like I don't go around here launching myself all over. Like I've done things, but I don't know. It doesn't matter if you don't have a connection. Just take care of it yourself. I'm trying to keep this very vague, but just it's like it doesn't matter. It really doesn't if there's no connection. The whole point of oh my God, here's another thing. Actually, I'm gonna stay on this real quick. If you're with someone intimately, it means so much more if you have feelings for them. Anyone who's had that happen knows that for a fact. Even if you want to lie to yourself, I don't care. I don't care how bad the person is. With a person you cared about, even if they're less attractive, they've become more attractive because of the things you've done together and the things you've talked about and the ways that you've lived together and just all these things. You have all these memories and you have a stake in the person. You care about them. Random guy/girl from Tinder might be a total babe and really good between the sheets, but it's like, what? Who cares? At the end of the day, like, it's just, it's nothing. And they go home and you go home and you never talk to each other again. And it's just stupid. It's really, really stupid. And that's from someone who's done stuff like that. Like, it's just stupid. I hate that so much. And I just think to myself, we need to be better at being human beings to each other. Big time. And I'm talking to myself too. It's I've tried to work on it. And I've actually gotten a lot better finally. But it's just, I don't know, man. That bothers me. One thing I've always thought about, not always, I lied. I don't know why I keep saying always like it's been a forever. No. Through experience, I've learned, if you're dating someone, try treating it like this. No one seems to do this. Correct me if I'm wrong. Here's my hot take. If you're dating someone, and you had a friendship before that, right? It's the same exact thing as a friendship, but physical. Correct me if I'm wrong. I dare you, because listen, here's what I mean by it. If you're dating someone, right? First, you usually start out as friends. And then you realize, what? There's a connection. What's the connection? You really enjoy spending time with them. Okay, you already did, but it's at a little higher level now. Okay, so it's an elevated level of enjoying being with them, and you're physically attracted to them in some form or fashion as a result of their personality or their looks or both, or experiences you shared, whatever. Now, by having this connection, right? You have this connection with this person. You are sitting there with them. The only difference is, let's say yesterday you weren't dating, but today you're finally dating. Your first day dating, and you hadn't been physical until then. The only thing that should change is now you can be physical if you'd like, and on both your own terms as you work with, or not own terms, I guess, on both of your terms as you work through it together. So, here, hang on. I think I fell asleep. If you're gonna figure out dating, right, you need to look at, don't treat them any different than a friend, because people are great at being friends until they start dating. How many people do you know like that? They were friends for like 10 years and they're totally fine, then they finally say they love each other, and then 2 years later they have the nastiest breakup, never talk. You should, like, if you see a friend that you think is attractive, you're like, what's up, dork? And like you talk to each other like that. Why should you stop when you start dating? That's what made you enjoy each other. Was that he/she called you dork and it was funny and it made you laugh. Keep that. They'll just be like, hey, sweetie pumpkin pie, fairy dust. That's ew. That's gross. You're weird. Don't do that. You don't need to change the dynamic. Only thing you need to do is, because look, I have a deeper connection with some of my friends than they have with their significant others. Promise you. Promise you. And like other people do with other people, it's the same thing. The only thing that's different is that they're not smooching them and doing other stuff. That should be it. That's the only difference. Like, feel free to debate me on that. I feel pretty strongly about that. I'm not saying that I'm right. I'm just saying this is what I really strongly believe. And I'm open to feedback. That's the thing. I don't know everything. Just like everyone, I have an opinion. Like, oh, okay, that's awesome. I'm not an expert. I've just lived and had some experiences. And this is what I've deduced from them. Doesn't mean I'm right. And doesn't mean you're wrong. But also doesn't mean you're right. And doesn't mean I'm wrong. So all I'm saying is, if you start dating someone, treat them like you were before. But now, because the basis should be a friendship. And I used to think that was weird and cliche, but it's true. Because look, if you don't have that, you're both gonna get gross one day. And then you might not want to be smooching and licking each other. It's just like you don't want to do that. Like I don't know. Like I'm gonna be all gross and like wrinkly and scaly. Like ugh, like I don't want that for anyone. Like you have to be able to enjoy being around each other because looks are gonna fade, and money is gonna fade. Probably, maybe. Yeah, it depends. But it's just, I don't know, it just bugs me when people are just so, they're completely fine when they're friends, man. They're so fine. And then the second they try to be something else, they're both just like, duh. Like they're both idiots. The guys and girls and everyone, it's like, God, what are you doing? You're both such morons. It's like you became these troglodytes out of nowhere and you just have no idea what's going on. Do what you've been doing. But now you can kiss, that's it, and you're just not allowed to kiss other people. That's the difference. You've just found dating. That's what dating is. And then marriage is now it's really official that you're not kissing other people and doing other stuff. That's it. That's it. And it's, I don't know, I feel like we overcomplicate stuff, and I just feel like it's such a hard, we make it so much harder than it is, man. We do. We do. I'm so cool with being single. I don't care if I find someone. I really don't. I'd like to, but I'm okay with me. I am. And if I find someone who's, complimentary to me, great, I'll date them. But I haven't. So it's been 5 or 6 years. I've not dated. And I'm okay with that. I also really don't want to hook up. It's just kind of dumb. Like, I had my fun and I'm just like, no, this is silly. So I'm just doing me. That's what I'm doing. And I encourage you to do that too. You're not going to find someone if you're trying to force it. That's not how it works. You can't force someone to love you. You can't force someone to like you. But you can force someone to hate you, and that is a fact. So all I'm saying is live your life, do what you believe in, and you'll come into contact with who you need to. That's what you gotta do. I really like how this turned out. Oh my God. That's the thing that sucks though, is I know I'm such a small channel, no one's gonna see this, but I still love these so much. But God, I feel like I killed that one. That one felt really good. But overall, that's what I got for this video. If you guys like what you saw and you're not already, please subscribe and join the family. I'd really love to have you along for the ride. Join the family and community of just people trying to better themselves. That's what this is all about. Share some laughs along the way and challenge me on stuff. I want people to grow from each other. Talk in the comments, talk amongst yourselves, talk with me. I'll interact with people. I want to learn, and I hope you guys do too. That's all I have for this video, and I'll see you guys in the new one on Friday.